When I went to that school, history school, I had a very amazing experience. It was a very highly selective program. We had university professors teaching history. And I was exposed to all these new archival things that were just coming out, like Stalin's stuff and all that. And I remember being excited about learning all the time. And I think back and I think, I was just so happy to learn. And I remember like this, people like now talk about high schools as such a difficult time. And it's a very American thing to talk about, oh, I suffered so much in high school. Everyone goes for high school. And I remember high school as like the happiest time. I remember like, flirting with some boys. And the flirt was all about, did you read that book? And did you not read that book? And keep reading and reading and reading. And I was like thinking about this, and this is so nerdy. But somehow it was a very, very wonderful experience. So after I started the university, and completely by accident, I chose, so I went to the museum studies program, and completely by accident, when we went to kolkhoz, it's like, at that time, like all students were required to go to pick potatoes in a collective farm. And it was August, and I was talking to someone, she was talking to a young man named Grisha Mirkin. I'll tell you in a second why it's important. And he said to me, they're starting the Jewish thing. I said, Jewish thing, really? And he says, yeah, yeah. And all the professors are American, and you can go and study that at our university. So I had no idea. And later, and so I asked somebody, and they said, well, yeah, but your museum studies, you have to switch to archival studies to be able to do that. So I found a student who wanted to switch, and we just switched. It was just so weird. So that woman with whom I switched, her name is Maria Makeva. She became a very high-profile journalist for Russian Rain TV station. She's an anchor. She's there all the time. Very exciting, doing very exciting work. And Grisha Mirkin became Tzvi Mirkin, and he is now the Consulate General, I think, of Israel in Latvia, stationed in Latvia. We're still in touch. But I was thinking, like, that little piece of information changed so much in my life, because that program, Project Judaica, which was housed at this Russian State University of Humanities, was a really wonderful place, which gave me all this excitement of learning, just like my high school did. And we had amazing professors. They were recruited by David Fishman, who was then a professor at the Jewish Theological Seminary in New York. And he just created this program of Jewish studies, and that's where we learned Yiddish, that's where we learned Hebrew, that's where we learned Jewish history. And so many people who I see at AGS today were my teachers. Steve Zipperstein, who we just saw at this panel earlier, he was my teacher of modern Jewish history. Tzvi Gilman was teaching Soviet Jewish history, so did Mordechai Altshuler. And Yiddish professors were David Roskis and Pesach Fishman of blessed memory, and Sheva Zucker and Dov Bar. So now I understand what kind of caliber professors we've had, at this institution. David Myers, like all these, like who is who in Jewish studies, they came to Moscow because they were very curious, what it's like, and they got so much exotic from that experience, because sometimes there was no heat, wearing coats in the classroom. So I'm sure it was something for them to remember. But for us, it was a wonderful exposure to this very fascinating world of Jewish studies. And that's how I got interested in doing what I'm doing.